Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 2020 Driver Career Mode with Alpine, episode number 53 today for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix of Season 4, round number 5. If you haven't missed though any of the previous episodes up to now, then of course the link to the playlist is down in the description below, and also don't forget to subscribe to see plenty more F1 2020 content. We are aiming still for 750 subscribers by the end of the year. We're now on to 338, so if you have recently subscribed, then a massive thank you from me for supporting the channel. But yes, unfortunately, as you just seen there, we tried to rush through a front aero downforce upgrade, which failed, and this is the cost of upgrading that, is that that it's going to cost 1,000 resource points to repurchase that, which you don't actually have enough. So I'll repurchase that between practice and qualifying off screen. But we do have our ultimate engine upgrade coming through, which is good, which is going to be very handy about here. It makes us the second fastest team engine on the grid behind Mercedes, and I'm pretty sure that's obviously you've got to take from the fact that we still got upgrades to do on the fuel and the engine, but everybody else has pretty much bought upgrades. Ferrari are starting to bring a little bit of a gap between them and Racing Point and AlphaTauri, and we're trying to catch up to them. As we move to practice, you just saw briefly there, Verstappen and De Vries crashed with each other. It was off screen. We don't have replays, unfortunately, in either practice or qualifying, so I couldn't find what had actually gone wrong there. But they crashed and they both got a 5-place penalty, which Verstappen's domination might be over. But moving into qualifying, then you can see our first lap was the 13th place. We were right behind our teammate, but he's just improved. And going through the first sector about a 10th up, we are on a fresher set of tyres though. Vettel struggling as well, and Sainz there, both outside the top 10 as it stands. So I'm sure they're both on flying laps. We've got both Red Bulls behind us on the mini-map. As they're going for pretty much poles. You see we move into the latter half of the section. We moved 5.5 tenths up on our previous best lap time. We've dropped to 15th behind Russell and just ahead of Latifi, as we're coming through now, building the speed. And what I was finding at in both practice and qualifying, we're hitting the top speed of 207 miles an hour just before we reach the DRS section, and then with DRS we're then opening the what can it be? It is only 11th, which is actually, if you think about it, our best qualifying we've had for a long time. We've actually out-qualified Ocon. Hamilton also got a penalty for another collision, so he'll be starting down as well. So it's advantage Bottas, who will start on pole alongside Gasly. We'll see what we can all do though with our ultimate engine upgrade. It's time for the race at today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Good afternoon and welcome to Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. So let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The Baku City Circuit measures roughly 6 kilometers and is made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to catastrophic consequences for all of our drivers. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Now then, let's take a look at Nick De Vries. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Pierre Gasly in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Stroll, Max Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty, and Norris, Leclerc, Hamilton, Vettel, and Kevin Magnussen, a Renault, Ocon, Carlos Sainz, and Joe, Russell, Latifi, Nobuharu Matsushita, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Kvyat, and Nick de Vries. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
I think we can. We're up in P11. And once again, we're going to be trying the alternative strategy from mediums to softs. That seems to be the fastest way. Hopefully we don't get, also I think, potentially overcutting people that get stuck in the pits, basically. But fight the lights come on. And away we go for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And it's a good start. We swoop to the left-hand side, to the inside of Magnussen. We're going to try and get I think Vettel there and Hamilton. Can we get ahead of Hamilton? No, we can't. We have to settle in for what is P9 as Magnussen gets Vettel as well. We do get Hamilton though at turn 2 with a dive bomb, and now we set our sights on to Lando Norris, who is looking very slow, making most of the fresher engine components I've also got for this weekend. It's up to P7 now as we start to make some progress. As we look up ahead, Gasly is racing Albon hard today, and he's pushed him out as well into the path of Stroll, and Stroll eventually actually gets ahead of Albon as well. The racing point isn't that bad in a straight line, considering the fact it has got the Mercedes engine. Two Red Bulls decide to go side by side, but Albon shoves Verstappen out. That gives us the opportunity to start to catch up to this lot as well, as we've dropped Norris by a little bit as well. We've got come into DRS range for Leclerc, who's having a go at Verstappen. I think he's trying to go around the outside, but he can't really make the move done, and that's going to compromise his line into turn 2. And we've closed the gap. Gasly's already come in for an early stop to try and make sure that he gets out with an undercut ahead of potentially me. If we're that fast, we'll have to see what fresh soft tyres can do. Direct down the inside of Leclerc and up into P5, which then becomes the race lead. But Bottas and Gasly, you can see there, are both a little bit too far ahead. I think Bottas is definitely in a world of his own as Russell comes in as well. There's something going on behind. We'll take a look at that in just a moment, if we can. But our strategy is the 3-second stop as well. It was slow, just come out in front of Russell, a little bit edgy there, but we'll gloss over that. So we're going to come out behind Verstappen and Stroll, who are still battling. I believe it is indeed Alex Albon is out of the race, which is not going to do his championship any good whatsoever. We jump now to lap 8 as we start to drop the pack of cars that behind. Leclerc's lost out big time in the pits, not really sure what happened to him there. He's fallen behind Hamilton and Magnussen as we now got the DRS on Verstappen and Stroll. Verstappen though is closing up to the two Stroll. It's the double toe. We've gone purple in the final sector. We dive it down the inside of Verstappen, who doesn't make the move on Stroll, and move up into P4. And now this is for the podium. Stroll's got no chance against us with DRS, and we moved up into P3. Now we did set up try and catch Gasly, but he was too far. The undercut clearly worked for him. But we'll definitely take back on the podium for the second time this season in 5 races. That's just as much as we managed at the end of last season for Renault. So across the line we come. P3 it is. A very good result for us, considering the fact we started outside the top 10 as well. And of course we do get driver of the day. Azerbaijan being a good track for me. Probably would have been better if we had had a safety car for Albon, because then it would have closed the gap from Bottas to Gasly. Bottas was just in another world, 8.5 seconds clear, and he was even setting fastest lap on his warm mediums. I hope that same Bottas does not turn up in 2 races time at Austria, because otherwise I feel Austria might be our only chance to get a race win for Alpine this season potentially, but we'll have to wait and see how the car development. We moved up back into P6 after our disappointing race at Monaco on yesterday, and we're a little bit more ahead now of both AlphaTauris, although Gasly does close the gap to me by 3 points. But you see where Ocon is letting the side down, and we're only languishing down in P5. I think we could probably be challenging around AlphaTauri at least, as well.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today?
No, because we had speed.
Do you think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash?
No comment. We just literally crashed at the end there.
Well, thanks anyway.
Oh, don't get like that, Claire. Don't go back to sign. Well, actually, yeah, we should just be able to refuse to answer Claire altogether in a career mode. But anyway, that's where we are. We've got R&D. We've got a front downforce upgrade, the one that failed. That's on. It's going to be on its way, hopefully, for the next episode. We've also going to be looking at the rear downforce. That's probably next week, another 800 resource points, so that probably have to wait until Austria. That's going to at least catch us up error wise back to where McLaren are, and then we can look at those minors. Engine wise, we are second. Durability wise, we haven't had a problem, and if we do, we tactically take a new set of parts, probably at Britain, because that's usually my worst race. But to be honest, so far the parts haven't been that bad, and places like Hungary and Britain, potentially we can run older power units there, and Singapore as well coming up. Singapore's an unknown because I've not raced there in this career mode so far at all. Mexico as well is another unknown because that's making its debut in this series. We'll see what we can do there, but judging if we have a mighty performance that we went there, it should be good. But yes, that's where we're going to leave it today. If you have enjoyed, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, see plenty more episodes of the F120 Driver Career Mode as when they come out. But until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.